on the program. Next we have, which is the president of the university, who will give a welcoming and opening remarks. Please welcome Mrs. Josiane Fleming-Artson.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Mr. Neville York, Head of the Department of Culture, Leader of Government, Mrs. Sarah Westcott-Williams, Commissioner of Culture, Mr. Louis Laveste and Mrs. Laveste, Mr. Mayor Albert Fleming, keynote speaker, the Honorable Professor, Vice Chancellor Emeritus of the University of West Indies, Mr. Rex Nettleford, our very own Dr. Francio Guadeloupe, representatives and sector directors of the island government, representative of the UNESCO, Mr. Bully, ladies and gentlemen, welcome this evening to the opening ceremony of our cultural summit and the celebration of St. Martin core cultural values. Culture is the sum total of a way of life. It is everything we do that enables us to relate to our place under the sun. It is the matrix into which we are born, and it allows us to create our own set of mechanisms for survival. As such, culture is not static. It is dynamic. It flows. It changes. It adapts. Yet at the same time, culture provides a nation with a sense of identity, a sense of self-determination, and a sense of historical continuity. I commend the government on its decision to formulate a cultural policy. The main challenge here is to provide an integrated policy framework which recognizes culture not only as entertainment, but as a critical component of nation building. Culture is transmitted from one generation to the other, and education is one of the key agents in this process of transmittance. I would like to point out the role played by our own university, the University of St. Martin, in researching, teaching, preserving, and transmitting St. Martin culture in courses such as Caribbean Studies, Caribbean Literature, and Caribbean Sociology. Today, many of our finest minds are using their creative imagination to build the future of St. Martin. This cannot be done without acknowledging those who have gone before us. Studying history, we realize that St. Martin people have always done things their way, the St. Martin way. A good example is the year 1848, when our forefathers confronted their fate and declared themselves free, no longer waiting for decisions made by colonial powers overseas. By studying, preserving, teaching, celebrating, and recreating our heritage, we will reinforce the role of culture in nurturing social cohesion within our island nation. In closing, I would like to refer to the African concept of Ubuntu, which means I am what I am, because who we all are. When we apply this to St. Martin community, we are who we are because of all of us. I congratulate first of all the Executive Council, represented by Commissioner of Culture, Mr. Louis Laveste, the Directors of Culture and Welfare, the steering committee, and of course all those who are fortunate to be involved in this development. And welcome again all to this summit as we continue to celebrate the core values of St. Martin culture.
Now, it's customary when we have our guest speaker, a keynote, who's giving a keynote address to cover all kind of accolades. Mr. Nettleford, I think that is redundant. But what I'd like to share with you is very short, is the person that Mr. Nettleford is. He's a very warm and caring person who cares deeply about the people of the Caribbean. When I first made contact with him and asked him if he would like to come and give this address, he said, of course, St. Martin is part of the Caribbean, and any part of the Caribbean has his attention, and he knows what the Caribbean islands are going through, and he opted, could have been anywhere in any part of the world, but he gave up on numerous engagements just so he could be here tonight to share the knowledge that he's developed over the years in visiting different countries and giving different lectures. So I'm not going to give any long introduction to Professor Honorable Rex Nettleford. I'll just like to welcome him to the podium and let him give his address, and hope that you will find it inspiring, and hope we can learn something from him. So please welcome Mr. Honorable Professor Rex Nettleford.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I'm going to crave your indulgence and have you accept all protocols already heard. Coming in here tonight, of course, I knew I was in just another parish of the Caribbean. I won't tell you why. There are certain habits which we have developed over the centuries, and it made me feel at home. I am, of course, fascinated by St. Martin's current concerns in ensuring that the core cultural values of the society are neither endangered nor likely to be made extinct by the declining numbers of native-born, native-bred citizens of the island and the increasing number of